As an X-ball team, you're going to want to have a variety of plays so that when you come out here, you know exactly what you're going to do in different situations. So you're going to need to come up with a couple different plays that apply to a couple different things.
So your base play is your standard play that you're going to come up with as a team that is your most effective play and your most productive play. It's 3 or 4 players doing the same job over and over again with one wild card here and there. This is not an overly aggressive play. Pick out the most effective bunkers you can make on the break. This is the most flexible play that will have minor adjustments depending on your opponent's strategy.
A very important play is a shorthand play. That's usually when you get a penalty of some sort of any number. You're going to want to pre-plan for this. It happens, players are trying to push it to the edge. You're going to want to pick out spots that you can easily get to without losing a guy on the break. You want to spread out. You don't want the team running right down your throat up to the X and into you. Being down one player, you don't want to lose anyone on the break. Only take bunkers you can make. Once you get to your spot, hold the zone and trying to get elimination to even up the bodies. After you're burning down the clock, you want to be aware of when your penalty is actually going to burn out so that you can make room for the guy to come out into the back center. So he's not double stacked with 2 guys there, he comes out and gets shot. So you got to pre-plan these things, where your players are going to go off the break and where they're going to go to make room for that player. Now, it changes up if you're down points. If you're down points in the match and you get a penalty, you still got to go forward. So you're going to need to launch a guy out to attack the snake, fire a guy down the Dorito side, go up to the X. You're going to have to mix it up and you're going to have to attack. And to help that guy get far, if you're going to run to the snake, you need another gun to step out and shoot the base, to shoot the guy that's likely going to be shooting at him as he runs. And then the other 2 guys are going to need to G up probably that corner. So you need 2 guns shooting the snake corner, 1 guy shooting the base on the snake side, and the other guy launching into the snake. After that, everyone rolls out different directions. If you're down points and you get a penalty and then you sit, all you're doing is helping the other team burn the clock off and win the game. If you're tied or ahead points, your goal is to kill the penalty. Try to spread as much of the field as possible without getting shot. Expect them to run aggressively on the break. If you're down points, you must attack. Have 3 players shooting on the break and send 1 runner to the snake or far on the Dorito side. Focus on getting the elimination on the break and get the momentum in your favor.
What we're going to talk about right now is what you call a power play, where you're starting with 5 and the other team is starting with 4. What you want to do is just break out like any other game, try to get another elimination on the break to make it a 5-on-3 situation. A lot of people think that you need to run around or get to the 50 as fast as you can. That's not exactly the case. You just need to break out and keep the advantage. You also want to get into a good enough position where you can see the box to shoot the player coming out if the penalty expires. Don't be too aggressive on the break. You want to keep your advantage. Keep track of the time on their penalty for an easy elimination.
Heavy guns is the play you're going to use where you have 3 or 4 of your players stand in the back center and usually try and gun down one of their runners out to the corner and make an advantage 4-on-5 right away. So when you're scouting and using your coach's advice, usually you can find out when teams are going to do a long run play where they're going to try and take both the corners and something in the Dorito or the snake, which allows you to have a heavy gun, which it gives you the advantage of shooting 1 or 2 of them off the break. Put 3 or 4 guns on 1 lane. Commit to the shot, but don't get 3 people stuck in the back bunker. Okay, another play we have is the X play. You're going to have double up the X or 1 leg of the X. It usually comes when you can catch a team doing the same routine, with either not going out wide enough, and then you can trap them in the center and locking up the whole side of the field. When you get to the X, you need to make quick decisions. You're either going to lock off one side of the field or take out as many players as possible by wrapping and running through. Shoot on the break and use the center X to block out their shooters. Stay calm and focus on keeping the lanes clear.
One of the important plays is a clock burn. Now you're up on points and you don't have to do anything on the field but break out, stay alive, and watch zones. Now you need to set this up by picking what bunkers you can safely get to and what ones you can hold the best zones from. Now on this play, you're not going to want to have your players run crazy down the field, so you got to be selective with what players are going to be patient and do their jobs. With the other team down on points, they have to come at you. You want a play that covers the entire field to prevent them from running down on you. On the break, don't go for risky bunkers. Take ones you know you can get to safely. Stay posted on your zone. This is a team play that could be a disaster if players don't do their job. Next up in the arsenal is the quick point. You're going to want to plan for the situation where there's only 45 seconds left in a half and you have to score the point. You can't just run out there and just expect that it's going to happen. You need to pre-plan where you can push the bodies through the field, get them down the field, and run that flag in as fast as possible. You want to set this up so you have 4 aggressive players and 1 anchor player to hang the flag. Each player should know who they're going to shoot when they're going down the field. No one should be sitting in their bunker. You must all be trying to close out the game as fast as possible. This point of the game is generally chaotic, so stay focused. If you don't make the moves, you can't win the game. So get out there and make the moves, and don't forget about the flag.